laughs are meant to evoke feelings of joy and elation. But our next guest's laughter fills all of us with fright and dread. He's been a senator, an emperor, but I personally like to call him Sheev. He'll tell you about the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, but then he'll electrocute you with his fingers. It's time to do it. Please welcome the Emperor of the Galaxy.
It's so, it's... I was, you're very kind. I just want to say to you all, good afternoon.
Yeah!
And it's so nice to see you again. I'm sorry you got up so early, because I was going to say, I think you probably know the word, right.
Let me tell you.
You've got to hate me. You haven't got it right at all. Okay.
But I'll tell you what, I do a rewatch every time before we go to Celebration. I rewatch as much as I can, and I do love you, particularly in Revenge of the Sith. That you are having such a wonderful time in that film, and I can tell, and it makes me so happy.
Yeah, well, that's very nice. It was a great movie to do, because it was the transformation, wasn't it? From the relatively nice guy, but not so nice guy, into the fully fledged monster.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that. How do you approach a character with duality like that? You know, Palpatine versus the Chancellor versus the Emperor.
It's a kind of gift in a way. You can start with a guy who looks fairly reasonable, just an ordinary politician. You know, you can be boring, because a lot of them are. And you can be just quietly hypocritical, which a lot of them are. And inside there is this great seething mass of evil about to explode. So that gives the whole part a kind of tension. The only thing is, of course, you knew I was going to get to the guy sooner or later. We didn't do it in sequence. But it also meant I was able to do it, because I was 50 then, and the Chancellor needed to be 50 so that he could get older. And it's a mad world that I'm in, and we're all in terms of ages, because I was 37 when I played 140, and then I was 50 when I played myself, and then a few years ago, I thought I was dead. And now, for at least the progress of filming, I was alive.
Yes.
It's very good. But there's only one thing. He'd still be here today if it wasn't for his ungrateful granddaughter.
You know, she never calls.
Never trust them. That's what I say.
She never calls. She never comes by.
She never does. She never did. You know. But she really wanted the job.
This was coming back and seeing you in Rise of Skywalker. The absolute menace. You're attached to this metal armature.
I was.
You are. The lights are strobing. You are seething more than you ever had. How did it feel to just dive deep into that?
Well, that armature, as you beautifully put it, I just thought of it as a kind of galactic wheelchair. You know, and when JJ said he was going to resurrect me, I was a little surprised. But then I thought, well, you know, this guy couldn't be dead because he's too clever. He would have a plan B. So if, on the unlikely event, he thought that someone was going to attempt to destroy him, he'd have people standing by. Lots of very efficient, rather small, but very efficient surgeons and doctors. And he'd have the machinery and the technology to get life back into him. So it seemed to me that it was a kind of logic that one day he would reappear. I just wished he'd managed to last a bit longer.
Yes, and I loved it. Were there any inspirations that you sort of took when you were crafting Palpatine and the Emperor? I always thought it was very Shakespearean, very Falstaff, things like that.
Yeah, the whole arc of the movie is a Shakespearean. I mean, George, I think, is too shy to say that, but it is absolutely true. You know, it's, as far as Vader's concerned, it's the downfall of a good, tough, respectable, good-looking guy who just... he's gone home, so I'm not embarrassing him. Who just takes the wrong path. And why does he take the wrong path? Well, again, like another Shakespearean hero, Macbeth, he likes power.
Yeah.
He just does. And then he makes the mistake of not just liking it, and frankly, we all like a little bit of it. He learns to love it and to overlove himself. And that's, you know, that's the path to the dark side. The Emperor was different. He was evil when he came out of the womb, I'm convinced, you know. A solid block of evil.
Do you think he came out on the armature?
I think it's perfectly possible. Let's hope we never see it.
Well, Ian, I thank you so much for coming by. We appreciate it.
No,
you
it's
had
good
your
to be
panel
here.
today.
Good to be here.
Is there anything that you would love to say to your legion of loyal subjects, Emperor?
Well, I just, it's so nice to see you again. I think what the Emperor would want to say is something evil and terrible and inappropriate. So I probably shouldn't echo that. But I just like, you would, honestly, you are terrible. You are all Siths in the making. But I would remind you finally that I am all the Sith.
Yes! Ian McDiarmid, thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you, everybody. That wasn't nearly as scary as I thought it would be. Stick around. We got more Star Wars.